post-patch number 3 for UFL. You heard it here first, or one of the first. I got to stream some of it this morning, playing several games on live, and there's no doubt the game feels better, 100%. And the best way to look at UFL is to take it out of any type of comparison with other football games, right? You definitely don't want to put it into any kind of conversation into FC. Just being honest, you will sound absolutely silly if you try to make any comparison between this and FC. FC is just miles above. But as far as UFL versus UFL, which is how it should be, right? It's a brand new game. As far as UFL versus UFL, this was a positive patch. Free patch is still my favorite. As fresh as the history is with this game, there's still some nostalgia there. But out of the 3 major patches, this is feeling the best. As you see a bender there. Some good football leading up to that goal. You'll see it again. Good defense there, right? Not too OP with the pressure right now, but you can put pressure and win the ball, absolutely. And you're going to kind of see the build-up. Almost a good little cutback, which, by the way, I've noticed cutbacks are definitely more viable than ever to score goals. But you see here, good attacking. Obviously, the L1R2 sprint is still available. The biggest problem with that is that certain players just can't keep up, and so it makes a lot of players, that you can't catch up to, that you pretty much are meant to catch up to. Put it that way. Or if you want to look at the other way, it makes certain players be able to break away with their speed that aren't meant to break away with their speed. So that's my problem with the L1R2, and it's still in the game, but you can deal with that, especially because the passing's more responsive, just the overall feeling. So each game I played, I did not experience, there's a few glitchy moments, but not full-on lag games. Now, I also didn't face your typical culprits. So, with that being said, I wanted to show you another thing that I noticed they missed, right? I'm just going to go through each of the clips in order here, but you see that pass there? There's no reason why he couldn't have connected that pass. It seems that each of these passes, right? Maybe it depends on player stats, but with that being said, like for instance, when I had Messi before, I went on an all-out fire sale of the top players just to kind of start off. I had all the best players in the game, and I wanted to rebuild, if you will, and kind of feel what it's like to go back to like regular stats players or even lower than normal stats players. And in that case, maybe that was what caused that bad pass. But typically speaking, that's an easy pass. And there's a lot of times, even when I had Messi in the boys, Messi's passing is pretty good. And even those guys would miss those passes many times that are easy. And I do have a problem with that. I do notice, though, that the defensive reactions do seem better. Again, that could just be that I got lucky with some great connection. It is post-patch day, so maybe more players are playing in my area. The games were faster, but at the same time, the people on stream saw it. There are crazy wait times, and then next thing you know, boom, a quick match, and then another crazy wait time. So it was a little better to get matches quicker, but at the same time, there's still a big delay there. I know they didn't address that. I wish they would. Again, the passing, at times it can feel good, but then at times you still see where it's like scratching your head. How did he miss that pass? I wanted to show you this. I slowed it down. You see what they did here. I mean, much more space in the box, but considering what they said about the defense, basically, you shouldn't go long unless you have a super tall attacker, which is crazy to me, but it is true, though. You see here, none of my attackers are just towering over the defenders, so I'm not going to go long. But I did notice that playing opponents who had bigger attackers, they absolutely were able to win the ball. And not only that, they were still able to do the flick-on glitch. The only difference I noticed, whether it was just by coincidence or not, is they didn't go near post. They served the ball to the back post, head flicked it forward, and my defenders or nobody could react to it. I just got fortunate a couple times with the shot being like kicked into the defender. But as far as actually stopping it or winning the ball before the attacker, I couldn't react. So that glitch is still there. You see the finesse shots there. With that being said, on that shot, he does not have, who was that? Chukwueze. He does not have the full effect curling shots. And you seen there is a pretty good finesse shot. I'm willing to bet that the players with the the full effect, especially on the full effect finesse shots. They absolutely can score. You see the snapshot there. There's kind of a snapshot with finesse, but these snapshots right here, see as I go down 2-0, are definitely still OP. What I liked about this game, though, is that I was outplaying my opponent. He had a couple of snapshots scored, but I was able to come back. So, again, it could have been the dance partners, aka the opponents, just not packing it in, because I saw with a few other games the opponents were still able to pack it in the back. But it seemed to me that the spacing was a bit better defensively. That's to be determined, though. Like I said, there's a few teams that it felt like I was shooting into a wall of defenders. And in those situations, the only way I was even able to get through sometimes is with the snapshot. But with these games I'm showing you, the spacing was good defensively. It may be in just the player you face. There may still be that certain tactic that packs the defenders in the back. I also wanted to show you here, look in the 20th minute at Udogie's stamina, right? Look at all my players' stamina. Look at Camavinga, who has great stamina. Guys, 20th minute, by the end of the game, you can imagine, and I'm sure if you guys played post-patch, you've seen the stamina drain is terrible. I mean, how did they not see that in testing? That's going to be the biggest factor that kind of messes up the game. But I will say in the meantime, if they don't, come in and tune that up and kind of post-patch fix it, I guess, that's going to be an issue. But you will need subs. So if you have the ability to go purchase subs, do it. If not, save up to get subs, because right now the players run out of gas well before the end of the game. I'm talking halftime. Some players are just done. So how that got into this, release, how they didn't fix that beforehand, I don't know. You see there the game-winning goal. I got one snapshot back, which was fitting considering he scored 2 out of his 3 shots from snapshots. But the good thing was I was able to come back, right? My domination paid off, which it should. You shouldn't be out shooting someone 10-1 and lose 1-0 all the time. I wanted to show you this as well because it's a problem on defense. You see Van de Ven was very close to the attacker to the point where I committed to a tackle. Why Van de Ven just went into the random direction, I don't know, right? Now, obviously, my opponent didn't score there, but that could easily be an issue, right? You see here, Van de Ven close enough to commit to a tackle, right? There's no reason why he should just randomly go in a different direction. I was facing towards the defender, and it wasn't like he did a move. He literally received the ball and shot. That tackle needs to lock on there. I mean, come on now. I didn't push him in the wrong direction. He didn't do a move and get around me, so I don't like how defenders do that. It gives the opponents chances that they don't earn, and that's something I see with snapshotting too. I don't like how, I get that it's a skill, but the fact that the defenders kind of freeze up like it's an animation when you touch shoot, no, you should be able to react and block that shot or make a tackle there. So definitely some things they missed, but it definitely feels better. So it depends how you want to look at it. Do I feel like it's a game that's just like, man, this is awesome, I love it? Am I as bullishly confident about it as I was previously? If you look back at and the start to about a few weeks ago up to after the second patch when all the bugs and stuff started getting prevalent, I was very optimistic, very confident. But after 2 patches, when you see all the issues, it's hard to be confident. And I was angry about that because I felt, while some things are out of UFL's and Strikers' power, I definitely felt like they dropped the ball in some areas. Not to mention some of the greedy stuff where they showed just to be another EA Sports. It just, all that combined, it made me angry because I want this game to succeed. So people think I'm attacking UFL a lot or just defending FC, but I'm just speaking facts. That's the bottom line. With that being said, this has been the best out of the 3 patches for sure. It's definitely a better feel, so if you're able to tolerate patch 1, and especially if you're able to tolerate patch 2, like post-patch, with all the bugs and this and that, as well as the disconnect. I took that out. I was going to share it, but I had a game where it was literally, I paused it to show the drainage of the stamina. I was actually losing that game, but the player was totally a glitcher, right? It was one of those. And then he started disconnecting, reconnecting, getting mad because I was talking about the stamina on stream. And he ends up disconnect glitching, which, by the way, it's 100% a cheat. Can't go into too much detail, but it's 100% a cheat. And like even that instance was proof. Like you could just tell he was trying to say, unpause it or I'm going to leave the game, and he did it. And by the way, I got the loss. It didn't just close out the game. So it's a cheat. I knew it before that. I couldn't speak too much on it. I still can't, but I can tell you those kind of examples prove it. I'm no longer gonna harp on those or share those kind of things. Even the players that I was putting out there to show like the cancers of this game. But I'm not gonna do that anymore because it almost promotes him. There's too many players that are willing to just sacrifice any skill and glitch or do whatever to win, and it ruins the game. It really does, and it chases away players that are trying to play the right way and with skill. And then there's on the fence guys that are trying to play with skill, but then they see almost like quote unquote nice guys finish last. So then they sort of are thinking about it, and then you might share some glitcher or a rat farm, channel somebody has when you're trying to scold them. And now this person on the fence goes there and becomes part of the problem too. So no more names, no more promoting that stuff. Just know that disconnect nonsense, it's still there and it is a cheat. And there's still the glitchers and they still can do some things that can get under your skin without a doubt. So that's just stuff you have to deal with. The wait times are still there. Post patch, everyone's excited. It definitely was a little bit easier to get games right now, but even with that, there was still longer wait times. So not a patch that like by any means came in and just swept up every mess and made the game great again, kind of like the last patch over at FC, but definitely the best of their 3 patches, and definitely the game feels better. So, that being said, keep grinding, keep having fun, and we will see you next time.